Howdy, 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 howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the 22nd of August, and you are right here at the Views Express. I'm a lot better today. Not perfect, but I'm a lot better, you know. Sinuses jumped up and kicked my butt. Allergies, you know, all that. I don't want to get into all that. Hey, it is the 22nd of October, 2012. You're listening to The Views Expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Email us, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. Today on the show, we're going to talk. I am going to talk, and if you're in the chat room, you can talk too. Come to Spreaker.com, drop in the chat room there and say, hey. And if you're going to leave, tell me, hey, you got to leave, you know, that kind of thing. I really want to know. So anyway, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check out some, I got a whole bunch of pictures. You know, pictures say 1,000 words, you know, and there's symbolism and all of that. You can see it. And then you got some memes and stuff like that. But one I saw that I had to put up was a picture of an old, you know, turn-of-the-century vehicle. Looks like a Model A or something like that. I don't know what the heck it is. It's a car, you know. It's one of them horseless carriages. And it says, up until 1913, Americans kept all their earnings. Despite this, we still had schools, colleges, roads, vast railway roads, streets, subways, the Army, Navy, and the Marine Corps, who managed to win 8 wars. Tell me again why we, the people, need to be extorted? I don't like taxes. I'm like the next guy. I hate taxes. When we come back from the break, I'll get into my little rant about taxes, and then we'll get into some more news there on Liberty and Freedom Network, like CIA requesting more drones from the White House. Spread Liberty News has that one. Truth Beckons put that one up on Facebook. Anti-NYPD spying bill advances in New Jersey. In other words, New Jersey doesn't want the cameras, apparently. So I got to read the article there to you. Wake up. Our government doesn't represent us anymore. That's a picture. Whole bunch of pictures. And when we come back, I'll get into CBS News affiliate calls 2012 presidential race for Barack Obama weeks ahead of election. Poll suggests also Californians fed up with big government and public employees. And, yeah, can you guess why? California's in the hole because, well, let's just say public employees want their union and want twice, on average, make twice as much after their retirement. Okay? Which is, like, totally ridiculous to me. Hey, let me say something before we go to break. I'm pro-union. I am not pro-corruption. Okay? Unions need to be abolished and need to be built, much like the United States, of, by, and for the people. Screw these big corporate entities and screw these businesses and all these criminal activities, you know, activities like paying the unions in the back door or taking union members' money and putting it on a candidate that they don't want. You know, that kind of crap. They just need to go away. So anyway, hey, there's just so much. I'm going to forego this break. I'm going to put this first break off. I'll do it at 15 after because I really want to get into this business about. I really. I should write stuff down because I forgot what I wanted to rant about. I don't have notes in front of me. This is no note. Show here. I don't have notes. I should make notes. But I do. It is important. All of the stuff on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook is very, very important. Really want you to go take a look at it. But first thing off the top of the list, I want to say this, and I'll go to break sooner. I believe one of the best people, best-hearted, big-hearted, liberty-minded people died over the weekend. And that's Russell Means, Native American activist of Oglala Lakota Nation, actor, author. He was there at Wounded Knee in 1973. He passed away. He went to the great hunting grounds with the Great Spirit. So my heart goes out to him and his family, his kids, his wife, all of his tribe. And I know that they're going to carry on where he left off. Russell Means passed away over the weekend. There are so many things that we can learn from him, so many things that we can learn from people who fight for liberty, fight for freedom, fight for their own, when I say fight, I really mean defend, because you're going to have somebody disagreeing with you at some point, and what you have to do is defend your position on it. And when I say fight, I mean literally just stand up and with unmovable heart, just say, this is what I believe in and I know it's right. You know, and we can look at examples all through history about people who were like that. They stood up and they said, I'm not moving. You can kill me, but 100 people behind me are going to have the same thought and they're going to defend themselves. You know? So we can learn a lot from Russell Means. We can learn a lot from history. And if we don't, we're doomed to repeat it. We can look at the Roman Empire. It started out as a republic, much like the United States of America is a representative republic and not a dictatorial democracy like it is now. Somebody would tell me, well, geez, you're living in a dream world. No, I'm not. I'm living in reality. Anybody that wants a dictatorial democracy needs to pack their crap and get the hell out of my country. I'm serious. There's so many things that people think about doing, and they stand up for what they know is right for them. I can't tell anybody what's right for them. All I can say is, here is the playing field. Here's what's happening. You decide what team you're going to root for. Okay? I can't tell you what's right. I'm not in your shoes. I can't tell you how to live your life. I don't walk your path. But I can do one thing, and that is share with you the information that I have received and let you decide for yourself what to believe and what not to believe. I'm going to say this. Alex Jones and Glenn Beck are right. Now, I may not agree with everything that they say, but overall, with what they were showing you throughout the last 4 or 5 years, guess what? Or Alex Jones more like 17, 18 years? They're right. Period. You don't have to agree with someone to see the message, to understand what they're saying. All you got to do is hear what they're saying, look around you, and put two and two together. If you can't do that, I think it's time for you to go back to school and learn math. That's my 2 cents worth. Hey, I'm going to take the break here in about 15 seconds. But I got to tell you, it's up to you. You see what's going on. You know what's going on. This is The Views Expressed. I'm your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, on the Liberty and Freedom Network on Spreaker.com. It's New York, February 6th, 1964. The Beatles are making their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in one more day. The Plaza Hotel is crazy with the preparations. Alex Frazier, a desk clerk, has secretly let his brother Freddie use the penthouse suite for the evening so he can wine and dine the girl of his dreams. What Alex and Freddie don't know is the Secret Service are using the same room to hide spy novelist Henry Lade. His most recent novel has attracted the attention of the Soviets and East Germans. The communist countries believe Lade may have secretly discovered their plot to bomb Fresno. Assassins are dispatched to kidnap or kill Lade, whichever is easiest. What Agent John Parker and Henry Lade don't know is the Beatles are staying in the same room for their first appearance on American television. Let's Get Laid by Thomas Amo, available on the Kindle at Amazon.com. From family to friends in everyday life, he sees it for what it is. He'll tell you his views on family, politics, and what's in the news. From the world around him, he discusses many issues. Come listen to The Brian Keller Show right here on Spreaker.com.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Whatever the subject you can think of, we talk about it. Come join Diana and Wayne as we discuss whatever it is that is happening in our lives.
Come and listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Check it out on Spreaker.com.
This is the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. I am your host for the 22nd of October, 2012, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. How you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing okay, because I'm still dealing with little something going on. I'm all plugged up in the nose and stuff. Hey, looking for you. You want to send me a promo of your show? You can do that. Send it to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. You can go ahead and do that. I find it incredibly odd. It's just odd, you know how you sit there and you look at something and just think, well, that's kind of odd. I find it incredibly odd that People cannot see through these candidates that are up there right now. Here's the other odd thing. Why are the third-party candidates not in the debates with the Republican and Democratic leaders? Why? I'll tell you why. It's real simple. If these other people like Gary Johnson and Jill Stein and all of them got into a debate with President Barack Obama and former Governor Mitt Romney, I guarantee you those two would be out the door. Because these people, Gary Johnson, Jill Stein, all these other ones, would just wipe the floor with them. Because the truth would come out, the facts would come out. Those two would be standing there with their mouth gaping open going, wait a minute, whoa. You know, in other words, they would be ganged up on. I look at it this way, and I do remember what I was going to rant about before the break, but here's the thing. You confront anybody with the facts and the truth, they don't want to hear it, they're going to run away. And that's what these two would do. Because they're cowards. They're nothing but cowards. I'd like to see Barack Obama and Mitt Romney just get rid of all the political mindset that they have, get outside the party, just have a sit down with people, don't have this political rhetoric that they have when they're on camera, and just listen to people like us. And they would understand that we know a hell of a lot more than they would ever think we knew. They would probably be in the back of their mind thinking, how the hell did these people get this information? It's supposed to be classified. You know? I can get information in certain ways. People send me information. But these two candidates, I don't know why people can't see through them. They're both freaking liars. Yes, I said it, and you can send that to them if you'd like. I'm Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, living in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. These candidates, the Republican and Democratic candidate for President of the United States, are liars. There, it's on record. Why? I'll tell you why. It's real simple. I'll tell you why I say that. It's real simple. They don't know how to tell the truth. Now, you can look at their record and you can say, well, their record shows. Yeah, you can do that. You can see positive numbers, and that's all they're going to talk about is the positive numbers. They're not going to talk about anything negative. Why? Because they don't want people to see that they're failures in certain areas. Here, President Barack Obama got us into wars and jacked up our debt $5 trillion. Do you think Romney's going to break that? No, he's just going to keep it going. Why? Because his bosses tell him to do so. What, he's got a boss? I thought he was a boss, right? No, he's got a boss. George Soros, Media Matters, Think Progress, they fund that. Bernanke, all sorts of folks. Well, namely the United Nations and namely also the Bilderberg Group. And people who don't think the Bilderberg Group is anything, massive that controls the whole world has got their heads up their, part of their anatomy. Okay? I knew back in the early 80s, actually 83, 84, 85, around in there, that something was amiss. I began to look at the Reagan administration and I'm going, okay, he said this in his campaign, but here it is 2 years, 3 years into his presidency and I ain't seen it yet. That's because his bosses told him, yeah, we know what you said on the campaign trail. We know what you said before getting into office. That's not how it's going to work, though. Well, little insiders, have come out, former cabinet members. I believe it was in the Ford administration, or not Ford administration, but the Ford and also George Bush the first administration have come out and said that when you've got your candidates running and they finally get elected and they're in the Oval Office, there's people that walk in and go, okay, Mr. President, we know what you said on the campaign trail. This is how it's really going to be, and you're not going to waver from it. Okay? They've got people telling them what to do. This is why when you look at what's happening and you can either speculate or presume or whatever else you want to do, but the facts are that Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro, not born in the U.S., betrayed the elites. And I use that term, betrayed the elites, because that's what Pastor Lindsey Williams said on the Alex Jones show. I've got it on Spreaker.com. It's the first and second part of the interview that Alex Jones did with Pastor Lindsey Williams. Go check it out. He betrayed the elites. And now President Barack Obama, who betrayed the elites, is now damaged goods. And they want somebody else in there that's going to be a nice boy, not going to waver, is going to do what he's told to do, and that's just the way it is. Here's why. Number one, the elites, the Bilderberg Group, all those folks that actually run the country and the UN need somebody in there to follow orders so that when the United States financially collapses implodes within itself, they got someone to blame. They're not looking for a president, they're looking for a scapegoat. Okay? That's all he is. Okay? And it's like, how do we as people overcome this mess? How do we look at these folks that are in Washington, D.C. and say, can you get your heads out of your rumpuses and start doing what we tell you to do? Because we the people, the citizens of the United States of America, we the people are your bosses. You do what we tell you to do. And we don't want you spending money anymore on useless crap, okay? Such as Obamacare, Obama phones, Obama houses. You know what I mean? Now. I'm going to say I'm nonpartisan. I'm just putting that out there right now. I don't care about either of the parties, okay? It doesn't matter who's going to be sitting in the Oval Office. Everything's fixed. Everything's rigged. So, doesn't matter. Okay? So, if you look at this situation, okay, you look at this situation from a very objective point of view, you're going to see several things lining up. And if you can't, then you're freaking blind. Okay? The United States of America, according to plans from the elites and from all those that, from the gas, petroleum companies and, all of that, want to collapse the United States of America because they want to enslave each and every single one of us. Okay? Now, how are they going to do that? They've already got our pocketbooks. They've already got our wallets. They've already got our money. And now the government wants to, spend $40 billion a month in buying mortgage-backed securities, which literally means, folks, guess what? I don't care if your house is paid off or not, and you got the deed in your hot little hands, the government owns your house. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Oh, by the way, you're leasing your house every year when you pay property tax. You don't own your house at all, ever, and have never owned your house. You've just owned a piece of paper that the bank gave you when you paid off your mortgage. Which only means that, oh, yes, you've paid off all the money that you owed the bank for loaning you the money to buy the house. Doesn't mean you own the house. because you're paying property tax every year, which means you're renting the house from the federal government. So get over it. You don't own a damn thing. You don't own your land. You don't own your car. You don't own your house. You don't own anything. Okay? You don't own anything. So get over this fact. Get over this false sense of ownership of things that you have. You don't own it. Okay? You don't. But because you pay your taxes every year, you're leasing your house from the federal government. Try not paying your property tax. Okay? Try not paying your property tax this coming year. Yeah, within a couple of months, you'll have a lien on your house. Okay? I mean, serious. You know, you can forego paying the water bill. You can, I mean, because they'll put the lien on the house. That way, if you sell your home, short sale it, whatever, the new owners have to pay that. Okay? I mean, but try not paying your property tax. They'll come and snag your house out from underneath you. Okay? I'm not a financial guy, but I know enough to know that. Okay? You're renting your house every year from the federal government by paying, you know, when you pay your property tax. You don't own your home. You just have a piece of paper from the bank saying, hey, you just paid us back all this money for the mortgage. You don't own your house. I can do anything I want to my house. No, you can't. Try it. Try doing anything you want with your house. Try planting a garden in your front yard like that woman did in Oak Park, Michigan. Well, there were rules and regulations you had to follow. No. These housing authorities and these policies and these neighborhood things that go on that the city signs on to, no. Those are a complete and utter violation of your civil rights, period. End of sentence. Oh, by the way, lawyers, if I'm not right on that, if you want to correct me on that, please email me directly here at the show at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I want to know. You know, I really want to know. You know? So, yeah, taxes. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid says they're voluntary, but you'll go to jail if you don't pay them. Okay, wait a minute. That's forced taxation. It's not voluntary taxation. Go to jail because you don't pay your taxes when they're in, when they're voluntary? Huh, let's see. Kind of makes you wonder about the whole tax system, doesn't it? I mean, seriously. Go to break here for a little bit. Be back in about 3.5 minutes, something like that. You're listening to me, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, on the views expressed for the 22nd of October 2012, right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show. Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri talk show. Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
We went to the streets to ask people, what do you like about Doc FM?
Oh, well, I think he's sexy. He has a very sexy voice, and he makes my headphones tingle.
I think the doctor is very smart. Everything he tells you, you must learn it, because it is smartness to know. Plus, he plays my favorite music. He plays like the 80s and the 70s and the 44s and the 62s.
J'ai pas eu une seule occasion de rester sans rien faire depuis que je suis arrivé à Camelot. Je suis trop occupé à courir derrière Arthur. Fais ci Merlin, fais ça Merlin. Et quand je cours pas derrière Arthur, je fais des corvées pour vous. Et quand je fais pas ça, j'accomplis mon...
Doc FM on Spreaker.com.
Well, it's no secret that Doctor won't play none of that countrified music, so I don't really listen to him that much, but when I do, it's a hold down. The first time that I listened to the Doctor, he was making fun of the British. After I got over my attitude, I came back and listened to him. He's wonderful and raucous.
Listen to Doc FM every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
This is the Views Expressed right here for the 22nd of October, 2012. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Hope you're all doing good on this Monday. Want to make a couple of corrections. First of all, not a couple, just one. First of all, earlier you heard a promo for Brian Keller. I will tell you now that he is no longer on Spreaker. .com, but he is at KTRNradio.com, KTRNradio.com. Go check his show out daily at 9 a.m. Pacific, the BK Show, right there on KTRNradio.com. Onward and upward, if you want to follow me, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check it out. CIA requesting more drones from the White House. Okay? Kind of an interesting little tidbit of information, do you not think? From SpreadLibertyNews.com. Ezra Van Auken over there. Thank you, Ezra. Recently, the Washington Post pointed out that a debacle has occurred between the Central Intelligence Agency and the Joint Special Operations Command in relevancy to drone operation around the world, specifically the literal need for more UAVs. As an unnamed former ranking official explained, quote, sometimes there is a food fight, unquote. Due to the failure of the Pentagon's JSOC to meet the CIA's request for more drones, David Petraeus, head of the CIA, has become impatient with sharing the equipment between agencies. Okay? Hoping to take control over UAVs as opposed to the 30 to 35 that CIA officials have already. Interestingly, the U.S. Air Force outnumbers the CIA in drones by a couple of hundred, owning 246 Reapers and Global Hawks. Besides the Predator drones to strike targets from the sky, the CIA also has a small inventory of surveillance drones that are deployed to collect any information necessary. End result, the CIA is looking to the White House for help with operating more drones. A request by Petraeus reveals that the agency is looking for up to 10 more drones, which will be used to broaden their scope of authority in Pakistan and Yemen as well as around the world, according to the WP. No decisions have been confirmed by the White House Counterterrorism Security Group, which is chaired by John Brennan. Last month, SLN reported on the American Civil Liberties Union taking the CIA to court in an attempt to retract any information about the overseas program. Before the hearing, CIA officials wouldn't even admit whether or not there was a drone program to be discussed. After determination by the ACLU members to push for accountability, they at least got the CIA to admit a program has been initiated. However, the acting Assistant Attorney General for the CIA would not give the number, categorization, or nature of any records. Kind of an interesting little tidbit of information, do you not think? Considering that by 2020 there's going to be at least 30,000 drones over the skies of America. The Department of Homeland Security and TSA is also working or in negotiation with the FAA right now to do just that. Put 30,000 drones over the skies of America. And your mainstream news is never going to tell you this. Why? Because they know, they know that if they were to tell you, panic would ensue. So that's why the script from Washington, D.C. and the propaganda office called the White House and Media Matters and Think Progress, funded by George Soros, tells the mainstream media, no, you're only going to tell you what we want them to know. You know? Now, here's this. I can overlook the ignorance of some people in Washington, D.C. I can definitely overlook that because of the fact that they're not the smartest, they're not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I can overlook that. But the majority of the people in Washington, D.C., whether it be all the congressmen and women and all their associates and all their assistants, somewhere in there, they have to have a full brain and a full understanding of what's happening. And if they do, then they're so bought off by the criminal, organization that inhabits Washington, D.C., that they're not able to say anything. Okay? They're just unable. They cannot move beyond that because, of course, people do get blackmailed still, and they'll be told, well, if you go, public with this information, then we'll have to go public with the fact that you did this and you did that, And look what they did to George Bush. Well, when he was in college, he smoked marijuana. Yeah, so what? How many people in college didn't? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, I do believe that there are some really good people in Washington, D.C., but the only problem is that there's so few that the information that they do get out that is factual, that is saying what is happening, is overshadowed by the fact that the big boys that are, controlling everything are discounting and pushing aside all these other people, these few people that know actually what's happening. In other words, it's like, you can tell your neighbor that their backyard is on fire, and if they don't go back there and see it themselves, they're just going to look at you and think you're nuts. It's that kind of thing. But I do believe there are good people in Washington, D.C. It's just that the system has got them so coerced into, being on the other side of the fence and not, yelling so loud that, they can't do anything. And when they do get out and start doing stuff, then they're discredited in some way. And I can't say that, I can't say that completely because people started looking at what Ron Paul was talking about the Fed and about the IRS and all this, and now people are going, no, wait a minute. We want to abolish the Federal Reserve. We want to abolish the IRS. And there is more cry to do that today than there was 10 years ago. Even though I knew back in the 80s that the Feds were, Federal Reserve and the IRS were both criminal organizations. Yes, criminal organization. Well, hey, you get a private organization that funds something on the on the, 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 They loan out the money to the federal government with the idea that they're going to get paid back, and the only way to pay them back is to create another organization that's going to go out and get people. That doesn't sound, well, you got to pay it back in taxes. Well, taxes are voluntary. Well, it doesn't sound too voluntary to me when, somebody come bursting in my door because I missed tax payments. If it's so voluntary, then why don't they let Wesley Snipes go and anybody else that's been in jail for, not paying taxes? If it's voluntary, they better apologize to Al Capone. Okay? No, it's revenue generation is what it is. You don't have law enforcement people, peace officers, helping out in the neighborhoods and keeping the peace and all that. No, you don't. You got them pulling you over for stupid stuff, giving you $150, $200 tickets. All it is revenue generation. That's all it is. And then, like I said before the break, you're paying your property taxes every year to the feds, to the Federal Reserve, basically is where it goes. And you're renting your house. You don't own your house. You own the piece of paper that is there that says you paid it off. They gave you a deed that said, look, the building I own. But now, with the mortgage-backed securities that they're going to spend $40 billion a month on, you don't own anything. They own your house. Period. Hey, if I'm wrong, send me information. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. I'm going to read an on-air promo. I didn't have time to upload it, so or edit it or anything like that. So, the world is at the brink of collapse. The United States of America and its military are the world's police, occupying countries and assisting in enslaving their people. The New World Order is here. The TSA and Department of Homeland Security have ordered over 1 billion rounds of ammunition and over 30,000 unmanned drones that will fly over the United States of America by 2020. What will happen in January of 2013? Defend liberty and freedom. Your life will depend on it. Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. A lot of things going on, a lot of things happening, a lot of things changing. A lot of things you people need to be aware of. I mean, I've talked to my friend on the phone many times who lives elsewhere in the United States, and my friend tells me that they won't listen to my show because they don't like the fact that, politics is not their thing and it's not their cup of tea and all of that. And, I've had people tell me that they don't listen to me because, I already know that and it's boring for me to listen to it. Something to that, something in that effect, right? So I'm thinking to myself, well, why are people yelling and screaming and doing shows and getting the word out? Because people need to know about this. Now, if you go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook, you'll see a bunch of pictures. And, hey, I'm telling you, there's a lot of symbolism there. To you folks in New Jersey, it's a lot of things that you people are good for. Hey, Bruce Springsteen came from there. Bon Jovi came from there. Hey, okay? Come on. From HuffingtonPost.com, NYPD spying prompts New Jersey bill to advance, requires out-of-state agencies to notify state. This article was written by or posted by someone there at the Huffington Post. So thank you, Huffington Post. The New Jersey Assembly has approved a bill requiring out-of-state law enforcement agencies to notify New Jersey officials before conducting any counterterrorism surveillance in the state. The measure was introduced in response to revelations of spying on Muslims in New Jersey by the New York Police Department. Sponsor Charles Maynor, an assemblyman who is also a Jersey City police officer, says New York police targeted many innocent Muslims during their surveillance. His legislation allows prosecutors to get an injunction blocking an agency from conducting surveillance if it hasn't complied with the notification requirements. New York police deny any wrongdoing. New Jersey Attorney General Jeffrey, can't pronounce the last name, sorry, Jeffrey. Oh, Kiaisa, is that what it is? Shows the pronunciation next to it. Also found the New York Police Department broke no state laws. Now get that. New York police deny any wrongdoing. New Jersey Attorney General also found the NYPD broke no state laws. Okay. The notification bill passed Thursday on a 76-3 vote. It is yet to be considered by the Senate. Okay. So they broke no laws. So why, is there an unwritten rule somewhere, or is it written out, a policy that says a law enforcement personnel from another state cannot come and, surveil someone else? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the law. I don't know the law. I just know that I have a constitutional right, a Fourth Amendment right to protect what I have. And law enforcement has to get a warrant to check everything out. Period. Okay? If I've done something wrong, they have to have a warrant. And they have to, and don't give me this crap about probable cause, okay? I'm done with that idiocy of probable cause. I'm standing on the Constitution, and the Constitution says that the constable, the sheriff, whatever, has to get a court order warrant right there signed by a judge before he enters my property. Well, I got probable cause. I don't care if you believe in the Keebler elf. It doesn't matter to me. You get a signed warrant from a judge, I'll let you in. I have nothing to hide, but I'm following the Constitution. That's the way it is. Don't like it? Tough. Go talk to a judge. Am I wrong in standing on the Fourth Amendment? No, I don't. Fifth Amendment? Well, do you have something in your house that you're not showing us? I stand on the Fifth Amendment. Thank you very much. Well, if you have nothing to hide, why don't you say anything? I stand on the Fifth Amendment. Thank you very much. It's just that simple. Look at this Leah Plant. She, or Plante, I don't know. Sorry, Leah. She was detained. I say detained because I don't believe she was really arrested. And if she was, it was a custodial arrest. It wasn't really, anything that was, too serious. But she was held and detained, and she was brought before a grand jury to try to snitch on the two people that she was with. And she remained silent because she had a right to remain silent, and therefore she did it. And she wasn't going to say anything. Finally, the court and the system kicked her out, said, okay, if you're not going to say anything, then we can't force you to. But they tried. She could have faced up to 18 months in prison, but I think, what was it, after 6 or 7 days or something like that, they finally let her go. But yeah, I tell people, you have a right to remain silent. Please do. Don't say a word to anybody. Unless, if you get pulled over for doing something stupid like running a stop sign or going, 10 miles over the speed limit, hey, come on. You know what you did, okay? Come on. But be nice. Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Scroll on down. There's another article that as soon as the page finishes loading. I want to go to CBS News affiliate calls the 2012 presidential race for Barack Obama weeks before the election. The Daily Caller. Click on the link there in Liberty and Freedom Network. It's really neat. They have, I mean, here's the insanity of the media. They have a picture of the People's Court TV show. And right below it, they have President, nationwide, precincts reporting 99%. They have this. The 2012 presidential election is still more than 2 weeks away. But on Friday, a CBS News affiliate in Arizona called the race for President Barack Obama. For 17 seconds, Phoenix, Arizona CBS affiliate KPHO ran a lower third graphic that showed it that Obama had won the November 6th election over Governor Mitt Romney with 99% of the precincts reporting. The lower third graphic appeared around 3:30 p.m. on October 19th during an episode of The People's Court. The CBS News graphic showed Obama winning the election with 43% of the vote nationwide to Romney's 40%, or 40,237,966 votes to 38,116,216. It is unclear who garnered the other 17% in the fictional election results. KPHO General Manager did not return the Daily Caller's request for comment by time of publication. Update, 12:10 p.m. Michelle Wallace of KPHO told the DC that this was the result of a mistake made by a test graphic. Quote, on Friday, October 19th, during a test of KPHO CBS 5's election return software, we inadvertently aired a test graphic for about 15 seconds in an episode of The People's Court, Wallace said. The mistake was caught quickly and taken off the screen. With the election about 2 weeks away, the TV station routinely tests its equipment to ensure our viewers have the very latest results on election night. We regret to err and apologize for any viewer who was confused by the mistake. How much? I'm just going to throw this out here, folks. I'm going to go to break here and take a do a long break at the top of the hour. But how much? And I know people are going to say, well, you know, it was just a mistake. You got to let it go. It's okay. It's just a mistake. Yeah. Yeah, really? Really? Or are they saying something? Are they predicting something? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I see things before they happen. That's a whole different show in itself. But, yeah. Seriously? How much do you want to make? Well, I'm not a betting man, even though I live in Reno, Nevada. How much what would you say right now, this minute, after reading that article, the links on Liberty and Freedom Network, how much would you say that article is true? 43 to 40%. 43 Obama, 40 Romney. How much do you want to make a bet that's what they're going to show on election night? Okay? Because you know darn well that the media, through George Soros and many other people who work for him, the media is state-run. The media is state-run. Does not matter. Okay? Does not matter. But keep that in mind, though. 43 for Obama, 40% for Mitt Romney. And then watch the results on election night. All right? Yeah. We'll be back after this. Calvin Wheeler is an American dreamer in a triple threat cage match with his two biggest adversaries, everyday life and himself. His marriage to the woman he believed to be his soulmate is rapidly evaporating before his eyes. The book he's been working on for over a decade is slipping through his fingers as he struggles to complete it. As these pressures grow, Calvin compensates by conjuring up outrageous road rage scenarios in the multiplex of his mind. To make matters even worse, he drives for a living. As his life, job, and dreams simultaneously implode, his wild fantasies begin to literally bleed over into reality. Now, with a gun in one hand and a steering wheel in the other, this distant runner-up in the human race feels empowered for the very first time. And the moral to the story? Traffic can be murder. Red Asphalt by Scott Cherney. Available on the Kindle and in paperback at Amazon.com. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the king of all dorks. Go listen to the Chris Top program right here on Spreaker.com.
A communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
Well, hello, this is the Views Expressed for the 22nd of October 2012. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, broadcasting live on the Liberty and Freedom Network from FEMA Region 9, the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Hope your Monday's going well. I know mine is. Yes, you can email us here at the show at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check out the stories there. Thoughts and prayers and all the spiritual support goes out to Mr. Russell Means, who passed away over the weekend. He was 72 years old. Anyway, going to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. That's the email address. Go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check that out, please. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Hey, if you're on the website, check out my book, Many Directions of Man, over there on the right-hand side. Click on the link there. Also, go to the left-hand side of the page. You'll see two links. One down at the bottom, it says donate. This is listener-supported online radio. Your help is very much appreciated to keep the website up and the show going. Trust me, folks, hey, I got to fork out money every month to keep the website up and to keep the show going. So if you can help out here and there, please do. Your support is very much appreciated. Also, if you go to the links there in the tabs, you'll see store. You can promote your patriotism by going to the store and buying stuff. What does that do? It helps to keep the webpage up and the show going. Okay? So there you go. Buy Many Directions a Man, my book. And all it is my observations of what's going on in the world and some very deep stuff and also some possible solutions. So check out my book, Many Directions a Man. Thank you. Going now to the Daily Caller. Click on the link there on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. It says, polls suggests Californians fed up with big government and public employees. Well, they need to get rid of Governor Brown. Could California be on the verge of supporting Wisconsin-like reforms? A recent Reason Roop poll of likely voters found that state residents are open to curbing public employee benefits as well as cutting back government spending instead of raising taxes. For starters, 53% of Californians say unions have too much power when negotiating their pay and benefits, while only 15% say too little and just 24% say they have the right amount. Even more residents, 67%, believe public employees get better benefits than private sector counterparts, while only 11% say they get worse benefits. In light of the fact that most public employees typically have guaranteed pensions, while most private sector workers get payments from 401k style accounts, 69% favor shifting new public employees who have not yet been promised any pension benefits away from guaranteed pensions to 401ks. 24% oppose this. Furthermore, 62% of Californians favor reducing the number of state employees to help balance the budget, with only 33% of the residents are opposed to this. Okay. Reining in of public employee unions doesn't stop at the state level, however, as 77% favor requiring local public employees to contribute more to their pensions and health care benefits. Just to interject, they don't contribute all that much currently. And basically what it is that their guaranteed pensions are, you get full coverage insurance, you pay a little bit here, you pay a little bit there, more on your prescriptions, yada, yada, yada. No, I think it all should be privatized. Get rid of unions, privatize all pensions, put it in the bank, have your employer contribute, either, 1-to-1 or, 2-to-1, depending on the size of the company. Get rid of the unions, get rid of all that, no guaranteed pensions. People, California is in the toilet. They're just waiting for somebody to push the handle, okay? I can say this. I was born and raised in Stockton, California, in San Joaquin County. I know this, okay? Plus, I've done my homework. Continuing, let me read that again because it's very, very important. Let me go back. Furthermore, 62% of Californians favor reducing the number of state employees to help balance the budget, with only 33% of the residents are opposed to this. Reining in of public employee unions doesn't stop at the state level. However, as 77% favor requiring local public employees to contribute more to their pensions and health care benefits. Also, 42% say that public employee unions have done more to hurt the state and local economy, while only 17% say they have helped. 74% also favor allowing the public to vote on public employee benefit and pension increases, while only 22% say that shouldn't be the case. Privatize it all, and you won't have to worry about that. Continuing, specifically when it comes to state prison guards, who make an average of $104,000 per year in salary and benefits, 53% say they are overpaid and only 6% say paid too little. 38% say paid the right amount. While the blue states' residents are willing to cut spending, 58% are opposed to eliminating the state income tax. Only 36% were in favor. 58% are opposed to eliminating the state income tax. Okay. Just think about that for a minute, folks. Screw on your thinking caps and think about that one for a minute. Okay? Continuing, fully 58% of California likely voters say that the state is on the wrong track, and only 34% say it's on the right track. You know why? Because there's people getting freebies. They're getting handouts. It's the biggest freaking welfare state on the West Coast. Continuing, the majority of likely voters, 56%, favor bringing spending back down to where it was in 2000. In fact, 52% of the voters say the 42% increase in state spending between 2000 and 2010 has decreased the quality of life for state residents. More interestingly, the average answer for how much of each dollar the state wastes was 49 cents, meaning likely voters think that nearly half of what the state spends is wasted. I used to live there. I know it's wasted. Continuing also, if Proposition 30, a measure to increase that sales tax and income taxes for a measure to increase the sales tax and income tax on the wealthy doesn't help to close the state budget deficit, and most voters, 74%, favor cutting spending rather than increasing taxes. Only 15% say the state should raise taxes to close the gap. 59% also favor allowing private companies to run some state parks to alleviate budget woes. 65% also say that the state laws and regulations passed by legislature moving jobs to other states, and only 24%, now get that, 65% also say that state laws and regulations passed by legislature moves jobs to other states. And only 24% say they create jobs in California. Since June of this year, 3 California cities, Stockton, San Bernardino, and Mammoth Lakes, have sought Chapter 9 bankruptcy protection due to financial troubles. As such, it may be hard for local governments to get more out of their tax base, as local governments face a similar opposition to taxes, as well as 71% of likely California voters oppose localities raising taxes to get finances in order, with only 25% favoring that strategy. 63% also favor local governments selling off assets like golf courses, parking lots to get their finances in order, and 60% favor outsourcing services like trash and road maintenance to private companies. Okay? It's amazing. I grew up in California. I have never seen California that bad, where even my hometown is filing Chapter 9 bankruptcy. People, California's done. Okay? It's done. You got hardcore people there that live there that say, well, I'm not moving, I'm not going anywhere, oh, this is my state. Oh. I have friends who are on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, that said that they would not live anyplace else. And guess what? They're saying it's a beautiful state. You got parks, you got this, you got the ocean, you got... Let me tell you something. If you can't live in a place, and if they're going to raise your taxes, and if everything goes up, what are you going to do? You know? What are you going to do? Oh, we'll just muddle through it. We'll get through it. You know, my mom was born and raised in Stockton, California, and went through the Depression and all that. And let me tell you something. My mom's a hard nut to crack. So yeah, if she can get through that, my goodness. There's some hardcore people there that are going to stay no matter what. But I'm talking to people, 30, 40, 50 years old. You got to pack up and move because California's done. Let it collapse, let it go bankrupt, and then rebuild. Look what Iceland did. Take a page out of the book in Iceland. They got rid and arrested all of their bankers that screwed them, and they turned around and now they're prospering. Let the system collapse. Just let it collapse. You're not going to have riots in your street. You're not going to have any of that. You're not going to have riots in the streets or people burning things down or anything. You're not going to have that. People are pretty decent where I grew up. There's parts of Stockton you have to stay away from even in the daytime, but that's what law enforcement is for. They may not get paid for a month, but at least they're going to turn around and regroup and rebuild the city. And guess what? Get rid of public unions. Get rid of all that. Because guess what? Go and crunch the numbers. What has caused the city of Stockton, Mammoth Lakes, and San Bernardino to go bankrupt? What and all the other cities there? And what is making the state go bankrupt? Public unions. Get rid of them. Privatize everything. Okay? People, if you cannot put $2 to $3 to $20 in aside to save it for something, you got a major, major problem. Okay? And if all you're thinking is, well, I'm going to work for the city for 20, 25 years and collect my guaranteed pension and they have to pay it, you're an idiot. My grandma didn't have a guaranteed pension. It was called Social Security at the time she retired from the state. And she saved her money. Okay? So I don't want to hear it. California is done. It's in the toilet. Somebody's just got to push the handle. Okay? Somebody's probably going to yell at me going, I'm from California. California's not that bad. Why are you talking bad about California? Because I was born and raised in California. Hello? I was born and raised in Stockton. I know that place inside and out. Have you talked to people in the city? Have you talked to the city finance manager? I haven't. I'm just letting you know. I haven't. But if you have, let me know. Okay? Have you looked around and just walked around and seen what... Went down there, my girlfriend and I went down there a few months back. We went to downtown Stockton on a Saturday. I was showing her around. She'd never been there. And I said, this is not like it should be on a Saturday. She goes, well, what should it be like? Well, there should be people here walking around. Going to stores, going in. The place I may have seen on the main strip there on Weber Avenue and El Dorado and all that in Stockton downtown. Maybe 10 people? Well, the economy sucks. Nobody's out. Nobody's buying anything. Nobody's walking around. There was a movie theater down there. We went to Weber Point. I looked around. There was hardly anybody in the park. I'm like, what? This is Saturday. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was around there, 1:30. And I'm like, what? There's nobody here. We go down into my neighborhood where I grew up. Went down to a little, shopping plaza. Went to Food for Less, that kind of thing. Bunch of people in there. There's some fast food joints there on Wilson Way. Bunch of people. Then we went out to Weberstown Mall. Bunch of people. But nobody downtown. We went out to some of the newer places that have been out there when I was living there in the 90s. A bunch of people going shopping, they were all out there. And I'm like, oh, so they left downtown and went to the north side. Everybody, if you're from Stockton, you know what I mean by the north side. So there you go. Oh, yeah, the economy's getting, the economy's good. Yeah, I just did a small little video of a place here in Reno where we went and we had a bite to eat and we're walking around and saw some places and, stores and stuff. And in this one area, this one mall area, there were 8 storefronts that were empty. Yeah, the economy's good. My butt. Governor Sandoval better stop listening to his bosses, Harry Reid and Dean Heller, and start trying to get these businesses to expand. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods. I don't know what you're facing financially. But I can tell you that it's probably like that all over the place. Go to your downtown sections. Go to your downtown, walk around where you used to go when you were a kid or just, if you moved there in the last 10 years or whatever. And take a video and just, look around. And then go out to the malls or stuff like that and see how many people are out there. Because the downtown was the place to be in Stockton. That's where it was. That's where everything was going on. You have the Bob Hope Theater down there. It used to be called the Fox Theater. Bob Hope's friend Alex Spanos had the city council change the name. Basically didn't have them. He just paid the city council and bribed them, and they changed the name. I shouldn't say that. Alex Spanos is a good guy. But downtown there should be a lot of people, but there wasn't. So is that happening in your area? Let me know. You can send your email. I know I was talking about that. You can send your email to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. So if you have video, like 30 seconds or more, hey, let me know. I'd like to see it, see what's going on. And if you want me to share that with others, I can do that on the website. Just, go to the website associated with the page here, and I can put it up. And let me know. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Speaking of which, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Yes. Max Egan and Ken O'Keefe. There's a 14-minute video there on the page. You might want to take a look at. I got to reset the page. Hang on just a sec. I will be right with you there. Yeah. Max Egan and Ken O'Keefe, False Flags in the American Interest. So check out that video. Now, before the break, I want to get into talking about Mittens Romney. 5 facts. 5 times Romney flunked on foreign policy. Romney says his desire is not to leave Afghanistan, even when Americans are overwhelmingly opposed to staying indefinitely. Source, Boston Globe. That's the first one. Second one, before Osama bin Laden's death, Romney said it was, quote, not worth moving heaven and earth, unquote, to find bin Laden. Source, Time Magazine. By the way, Osama bin Laden's been dead since the end of 2001, beginning of 2002. Doctors at a hospital in Dubai, say so. So enough of this Osama bin Laden death. Oh, yeah, they killed him in that raid, no, they didn't. Enough. A bunch of our special forces people were killed because of that stupid bull crap. Osama bin Laden's been dead for over 10 years. So knock it off. Number 3, Romney says the U.S. should support regime change in Syria because it's Iran, quote-unquote, route to the sea. But Iran actually borders the Arabian and Caspian Sea and doesn't share a border with Syria. Source, MSNBC. Number 4, Romney called Russia a strategic partner of the United States on vital issues. America's, quote, number 1 geopolitical foe. Source, ABC. Number 5, when asked how he'd approach going to war with Iran, Romney has said he'd defer to his lawyers. What? Quote, you sit down with your attorneys, unquote, so they can, quote, tell you what you have to do, unquote. Source, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, GOP debate. Yeah, you see, he's not going to go to the generals. Hello? He's not going to sit down with his Joint Chiefs of Staff and say, how do we approach this? No. He's going to go to his attorneys. The only reason why he's going to do that is to save his ass when he fails miserably. Okay? I don't know what his foreign policy is. All I know is I've heard him say he wants to stay in Afghanistan. Yeah, why not? The Army's guarding the opium fields over there to send the drugs back over here to send them to Mexico, along with the guns that the ATF and the DEA send over there so that they can protect their investment coming back into the U.S. Poppy fields in Afghanistan, send to Mexico for processing, send them to the U.S. to all you addicted drug addicts out there. Okay? Yeah, I said it. You squash the demand for drugs, for illegal drugs in the United States, you won't have a problem. You just get rid of it. You abolish the need for people to escape. I should know. I've spent 25 years clean and sober. I should know. All it is an escape. Oh, yeah, football. Let's grab a beer. Here, let me throw this out at you. Everybody's yelling about legalizing marijuana. Okay, let's do this. If you're so extremely, if you're so extreme about legalizing something, let's do this. Let's legalize all drugs. Legalize all drugs. Legalize it all. Opium, cocaine, crank, marijuana, everything. Let's just legalize it all. How about that? And then tax the crap out of it. How about that? Oh, is that too extreme for you? Because if you did that, obviously, the United States of America and the DEA, ATF wouldn't get their revenue generated really well, would they? Because that's profit for them. They bust somebody, it's profit for them. Okay? We either legalize all of it or keep it all illegal. But then what's the plan there? For the DEA and the ATF to make money because they've made it illegal. It's been that way since the early 50s, I think. Early 1950s. So what do we do there? Do we legalize marijuana, which doctors have found that it is and does cure cancer, cures all kinds of stuff? It is, don't give me this crap that I'm lying. This is the reports out of doctors that have studied these things for years, okay? Go look it up. Don't believe me. Go look this stuff up yourself. The medicinal advantages of marijuana. While you're looking that up, look up advantages of legalizing marijuana. Okay? And of course, people are going to say, well, if they legalize it, they're going to take the THC out of it, and that's the thing that cures all this stuff. So it's going to be a fight no one's going to be able to win. By the way, the war on drugs is nothing but a farce. It's illegal, and we're not winning. It's a lose-lose situation for everybody involved. Okay? Constant. We're spending billions of dollars on what? With 28 to 30,000 people dying already on the border. Hello? Kind of makes you wonder where your money's being spent, right? Seriously? Yeah. This is The Views Expressed. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. We shall return. You're listening to the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Are you looking for an alternative to your normal everyday radio? Well, check out KTRNradio.com. Jay Towers and Brian Keller bring you everything that you ever wanted to know, and even if you didn't want to know it. Go check out That Radio Show with your host, Jay Towers, and That VK Show with your host, Brian Keller, on KTRNradio.com. What's the word on the street? There's only one place you can get that question answered. Mobster Boss Radio. How do you deal with people? Your questions and more will be answered on Mobster Boss Radio. Come join JD and Sonny and Lester on Mobster Boss Radio and find out what they think about the world around them. Go to www.mobsterbossradio.com.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Do you wear your sunglasses at night? Well, maybe you do some other crazy things too. Why not add The Sandy Fox Show to your list? You can find me on Spreaker.com, Icecast.org, and TuneIn.com. Fox out.
You're listening to The Views Expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network. This is the Liberty and Freedom Network. You're listening to The Views Expressed right here for the 22nd of October. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. It's 2012. And what else? It's almost Halloween, isn't it? What were you when you were a kid at Halloween? What strange little creature did you decide to be? Or did your mama dress you up in a pink tutu? Halloween is a really good time of year. Remember, folks, remember. There's some, not only is it a creepy time of year, but there's some creeps out there that want to take your kids. So parents, be prepared. I know some parents go right before it hits dark. Right before the sun goes, they go out and they do their thing. That's a good idea. But when you have candy, and I don't care where you get it from, it doesn't matter. Go home, check it out yourself. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to dress your kids up in masks and stuff, make sure they can see. Okay, and make sure others can see them as well. Okay, just saying, my little PSA to you folks. Yes, go check out JD, Sonny, Lester, and Guy over there at MobsterBossRadio.com. You haven't heard a radio show like theirs at all, I don't think. I think they outdo Howard Stern. Tells you what kind of show they got, right? Go check them out. Go check out JD and Sonny and Lester and Guy over there at MobsterBossRadio.com. Tell them Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Views Express sent you. Yes, check out their show. Go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. There's a picture there. It says, as long as the general population is passive, apathetic, let me click on the picture, diverted to consumerism or hatred of the vulnerable, then the powerful can do as they please. Revolt is what it says. Okay, another picture says here, you ever wonder why it's not polite to talk religion or politics? It's no wonder the state of politics and religion in this country is so screwed up. We've been taught not to think twice about either. Start talking. Start learning. That's what I say. And we all shop at Walmart because we want cheap stuff. There's a sign there, a picture of Walmart funding civil wrongs. Our candidates ranked on the recent civil rights scorecard. 88% of contributions from the Walton family went to those who received scores of 20 or less out of 100. Poverty jobs in our communities. A Walmart worker working full-time receives just $15,500 a year. Just 70% of the federal poverty line for a family of 4. Walmart destroys 3 jobs for every 2 they, quote-unquote, create. Walmart supports ALEC. The Walton Family Foundation is still a member of the American Legislative Exchange Council, which is aggressively pursuing voter suppression laws that disenfranchise our families and supporting, quote, stand your ground, unquote, laws like the kind linked to the killing of Trayvon Martin. Voter ID requirements currently in effect. Also, Alan Forrest, Laurel, Maryland, store number 1985. He says, and I quote, Alan Forrest says, I quote, I work hard at Walmart. It makes me angry that the money I earn for the company is being used to fund efforts to undermine my right to vote, unquote. Walmart's low wages are not good for any workers, but minorities are disproportionately represented in low-paying positions. In 2010, Walmart employed 482,391 minority hourly associates. Associates earn an average wage of just $8.81 an hour, while people of color made up 35.33% of Walmart's U.S. workforce in 2010. Only 26.4% of managers and corporate officers were minorities. Color of Change said, and I quote, ALEC's voter ID laws are undemocratic, unjust, and part of a long-standing right-wing agenda to weaken the black vote. Major companies that rely on business from black folks shouldn't be involved in suppressing our votes, unquote. That is from www.walmart1%.org/civil rights. Shop local, people. I know you like the cheap stuff at Walmart. It's all coming from China. Go check it out. Actually, I was over there. We were over there, and I looked at stuff, and I saw stuff from Honduras. I saw stuff from Pakistan. There was hardly anything, maybe less than 0.5% of anything in Walmart was made in the United States of America. Shop local. It's a little more expensive, but guess what? You support local stores. Okay? Just a little side note, we went to McDonald's and we didn't feel good after we ate. Matter of fact, we didn't feel all that well after we ate. So we stopped eating at McDonald's. I put this up here over the weekend. You can go to prisonplanet.com. Obama front group accuses Drudge and InfoWars of quote-unquote race baiting. Think Progress, funded by George Soros, focused around quote-unquote driving the White House's message and agenda, unquote. Did I say quote-unquote? Yeah, you know what I meant. Paul Joseph Watson writes, the George Soros-funded Obama campaign front group Think Progress has accused InfoWars of race baiting after a story focusing on how Obama supporters were threatening to riot if Obama lost the election went viral as a result of being posted on the Drudge Report. Entitled, Drudge Promotes Conspiracy Site Warning That Black People Will Riot If Romney Wins, the article accuses Drudge of, quote-unquote, stirring up another race-baiting conspiracy theory by posting links to two InfoWars articles that contained sources of genuine tweets from Obama supporters who threatened to stoke civil unrest if Romney was victorious. By accusing Drudge and InfoWars of race baiting, Think Progress is somehow attempting to blame Alex Jones and Matt Drudge for drawing attention to the tweets while absolving the authors of the tweets themselves for their insane outbursts. InfoWars never warned that, quote-unquote, black people will riot. We merely reprinted tweets from Obama supporters saying they would riot if Obama lost the election. The Think Progress article also fails to mention that respected black economist and philosopher Thomas Sowell warned of race riots if Obama loses before InfoWars or Drudge even reported on the issue. Does Think Progress, as an Obama campaign front group, believe it's acceptable for Obama supporters to threaten mayhem and violence if the result of the election next month doesn't go their way? Do they also believe it's no big deal that Obama supporters are threatening to assassinate Mitt Romney if he wins? Leftists habitually point to angry online posts in an effort to smear conservatives, but when the shoe is on the other foot, they miraculously develop a newfound tolerance for online hate speech. The article frames the issue as part of a slew of racially charged attacks on President Obama, a trick routinely played by Obama apologists in the media who have attempted to characterize legitimate criticism of the president as a racist. Continuing, as we have previously documented, as PrisonPlanet.com and Paul Joseph Watson previously documented, Think Progress claims that it is a quote-unquote nonpartisan organization, and yet is bankrolled by the Center for American Progress Action Fund, a think tank headed by Bill Clinton's former chief of staff, John D. Podesta, who was also head of Barack Obama's presidential transition team after the 2008 election. According to SourceWatch, quote, CAP's progressive media project emerged as a major communication war room on behalf of Obama's domestic and foreign policy agenda, and CAP became a strong advocate for escalation in Afghanistan. Progressive media is run through the Center for American Project Action Fund, the more political 501c4 arm of CAP. It coordinates closely with the Common Purpose Project, an effort to create message discipline among the pro-Obama organizations with a direct tie to the White House, unquote. According to the Center of American Progress Director Jennifer Palmieri, the organization is focused around, quote, driving the White House's message and agenda, unquote. Think Progress is already closely allied with Media Matters under the umbrella of Podesta's progressive media propaganda campaign. An investigation by Daily Caller earlier this year revealed that Media Matters is an Obama administration front that strategizes with the White House on a weekly basis on how to influence and direct news media. Through the Center of American Progress, though the Center of American Progress is shy about revealing its financial backers, according to the SourceWatch, no less than 58 foundations have donated over $15 million since 2003, as well as corporations that elitist philanthropists such as George Soros, who donated $3 million for the general support in 2006. Think Progress is a little more than a PR firm for the Obama administration, which routinely invents its own conspiracy theories in order to denigrate its ideological adversaries. Quite pathetically, Think Progress also accuses Drudge for helping to circulate fringe theories by providing traffic to websites such as InfoWars, which otherwise have limited audiences. As you can see from the graph below, if InfoWars has a limited audience, then Think Progress must have no audience whatsoever, given the fact that InfoWars sits over 2,000 places above Think Progress on Alexa's traffic rankings. Okay? That is from PrisonPlanet.com. Paul Joseph Watson, thank you. I got to tell you, I'm going to be totally upfront. I'm going to be totally honest with you people. Okay? Anyone that badmouths Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, anybody like that has got to have their head examined. And just because some piss poor little YouTube broadcaster gets a little pissed off and gets his feelings hurt, by somebody else, I'll just put it that way, and then goes off and starts bad-mouthing the person, needs their head examined. I know a lot of people in that type of situation that need a sledgehammer on the head, but, those, I just don't even bother with those people anymore. For years, since the mid-'80s, I've been telling people this is not the United States of America anymore. People have been telling me, well, you got to go to work and put your money in a 401k and save for retirement and blah, blah, blah. And my mother told me something similar to that. And I told her in 1982, I said, Mom, by the time I retire when I'm 70, it's not going to be there. Oh, the government, yeah, it is. The government owes it to you. I looked straight in my mom's eyes and went, Mom, the government doesn't owe us crap, okay? Doesn't owe us a stinking thing. And no, we don't have a right to a car. We don't have a right to health care. We don't have a right to free education. We don't have that right. I don't see it in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, do you? I didn't think so, so we don't have a right to it, okay? It's a privilege, okay? We have a right for the pursuit of, to pursue those things which we believe are right for us. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You cannot go to your local community college and say, I have a right to free education. No, you don't. They have a right, those administrators and the teachers there have a right to make a living. And just like you in your job, they're one paycheck away of becoming unemployed. Okay? Who knows? The state may pull their accreditation. The state may say, well, we can't fund these schools anymore. We have to make them private. Then, of course, what are you going to do? You don't have a right to an Obama phone. You don't have a right to an Obama car. You don't have a right to an Obama house. Remember in 2008 when the lady said, oh yeah, I get my gas paid, my mortgage is going to be paid and all that. You people live in some utopian society that I don't. You people want a hell of a lot more than what you're willing to work for. Okay? It's called personal responsibility. Oh wait, you don't have it. I know Latinos, I know black people, I know older folks, I know teenagers, I know a whole bunch of people that say, I don't want to work for anything, I want my government to give it to me. Well, I'm going to say something, I know Asians that way, okay? I know white folk that way. It's all across the board. I'm not being prejudiced. I'm not being racist here. It's all across the board. Well, I got a message for you. For you people that want the government to give you everything and hand it to you without you even lifting a finger to work for it, pack your crap and get the hell out of my country. I say mine because I'm a citizen of the United States of America, unlike our President of the United States. And don't give me this crap that he is. Go watch Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert. It's probably on YouTube, but go check it out. If you want the video, you want the DVD, go to InfoWarsShop.com or go to Infowars.com, go to the store, check it out. Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert. Forensic scientist in Phoenix, Arizona, commissioned by or asked to volunteer by Sheriff Joe Arpaio, said that the birth certificate that he put out online and put out on the news is a complete and total fraud. Period. He is not a citizen of the United States of America. And therefore, he is not my president. He is an illegitimate administrator. How'd you like to go to work one day? You're a boss. How'd you like to go to work one day, go to your office, somebody walks in off the floor, off the shop, walks in and says, hey, get up out of that chair. Why? I'm taking over. Get up out of the chair. Get up out of the chair. Well, wait, whoa. Why are you taking over? Because I know how to run this place better than you do. Really? I built this company. Yes, we do build companies, President Obama. We built it. So what would you do as a boss in your company when one of your workers came in and told you to get up out of the chair because he can run it better? When you know for a fact he don't know anything about what you do. I know, bad grammar. How would you feel? Would you give him the benefit of the doubt and say, well, okay, I need a vacation, go ahead? Or would you sit there and go, all right, I'm going to give you 2 weeks. I'm going to give you 2 weeks. If you think you can run my company better than me, go for it. You got 2 weeks. I bet you any amount of money that person behind that desk that came into your office and told you to get up out of your chair, that he can run it better than you can, wouldn't last a week. I know it. And I'll tell you why. We have a community organizer sitting up in Washington, D.C. in the White House in the Oval Office, and this guy cannot even run a freaking dog kennel, okay? He has never put his hand into a business to make it work, ever. Mitt Romney, on the other hand, has taken companies, put his hand in it, collapsed the company, but made billions from it. From its not only the growth, but also the collapse. So you have two of the same types of people on opposite extremes. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to take your tax money and give it out to somebody else? Wait a minute. There's a problem here. What part of I will not comply do you not understand? Well, geez, if we didn't pay our taxes, we'd go to jail. But taxes are supposed to be voluntary. See, I got back on that. Go look it up. The IRS was created in 1913. We didn't start paying taxes until probably the late 40s, early 50s, right after World War II. Go look it up. Don't believe me. Go look it up yourself. And then, if I'm wrong, send me the information. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Think about it for a minute, folks. This is not the United States of America your mom and dad and your great-grandparents grew up in. This is not what they remember. If you're as old as I am, your folks have probably had to live through the Depression era. Okay? I'm 50, folks, okay? I wake up every day. I'm glad. I'm grateful for that. You get my age, you wake up, and that's a happy day. This is not the country that our founding fathers wanted. Look up the term representative republic. The United States of America was a representative republic, or a republic represented by certain people that we the people put into office and voted into office, okay? All right? I don't know, folks. You guys can do whatever it is you believe is right for you. That's okay, because as you observe it, you're going to make decisions based upon that. I can't tell you anything different. You have to go out and check this out. Check this information out yourself. Seriously. Go look it up. Go look up the fact that Bain Capital right now, even though Romney is no longer part of it, Bain Capital is funding the presidential campaign of Barack Obama. Go look up George Soros and Media Matters and Think Progress. Go look up who's funding Mitt Romney. And guess what? You'll find both President Barack Obama and former Governor Mitt Romney are being funded by Goldman Sachs. They're bought and paid for. But think about it. Think about it. You know? I don't know what else to say, folks. Get out here a couple of minutes early, but hopefully. Anyway, if you're on the website, check out the right-hand side. Look at Many Directions of Man. That's my book. Please purchase that. It's my observations of things going on and possible solutions. On the left-hand side of the page, down at the bottom, you'll see a donate button. Please donate. I would love for you to support this show. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Also, there's a store button up there on the links on the left-hand side. Click that. Promote your patriotism. And all that does is keep the website up and the show going. It is up to you to support this online radio show. It is listener-supported. Please help keep the show up and running and the page up and running as well. We'll go from there. So, there's a lot of things that you need to take a look at. There's a lot of things that you need to know. And it's always to your advantage to go out and look these things up yourself. Seriously. Don't believe me. Go out and check this stuff out because, hey, it's right there. It's right out in front of you. All you got to do is open your eyes and walk out in your neighborhood. I'm going to take off, folks, so remember this. We the people have the power, for we are America. I'll be here tomorrow and the rest of the week at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com.